And back on the cechl dual boot. Got some options for internal dual hard drive. I'm using this to prop up the motherboard where the motherboard's supposed to be when it's actually mounted. This is upside down in the top of the case. There's the bottom of the case. There's a dead 60 gig, my flasher. There's a 20 gig in the back. Just looking at different options for cases and where to mount stuff, etc., etc. But anyways, so here we are. We got the E3 flasher connected where it's supposed to be mounted in the hard drive slot. Now you see this nice little spot right next to the E3 that ends up being back in here, this area. Alright, now it actually fits there quite well, but there would be some modification need to be done to the power, the AC power coming in, which is what it is. I've seen people mod that before to fit 3.5-inch drives in their PS3s instead of the 2.5 inches, which is what I'm using. Okay, now that's just one. Now I lift up the motherboard gently. Yeah, very gently, huh? It's tossing hard drives around. Underneath the power supply, or technically on top of the power supply, there's enough space for another hard drive. If I do that, I'd have to heat shield it, obviously because of the heat from the power supply, because most of that space in between there is taken up by the power supply cover. If you remove the cover, there's all kinds of space on top of that. But, I mean, we're talking the hard drive almost rests right on top of this metal plate, which is a heatsink and releasing all kinds of heat. So, obviously something would have to be done about that. Another option is in the bottom of the case. Now, here is the hard drive slot. Okay. Now, if this was a liquid-cooled PS3, all this space for this fan could be done for hard drive space if you had an external radiator. Alright? Just something to think about. And then we also got this little nook over in here, but there isn't that much space there, but possible. Obviously we don't want to decrease the cooling capacity of these things because they already red light to death like crazy, but I think liquid cooled dual boot could be in the future.